Hello everybody, welcome to Blue Goose Garage. I feel like I need to start this video out like this because there's new subscribers to the channel that are watching and commenting on these videos, but they're not watching the older videos. 5 years ago, this car was sitting behind this garage up in the field. It had been sitting there for more than 40 years. In the mid-late 70s, this car was street racing. It was racing a Super Bee out the highway here. They topped the hill, and there was a fertilizer truck backing into a driveway. The Super Bee hit the fertilizer truck head on. This car went off the road somehow and hit two trees. It knocked the passenger side taillights over to where the driver's side are, and it knocked the driver's side rear wheel well into the middle of the back seat. And that's not really an over-exaggeration. It ripped the rear end out of it. And it has been sitting up here because Dad paid, I think, $50 or $75 to the guy that wrecked it. Now, Dad had put this car together. He had bought it in '74, and he put an engine in it and painted it and drove it for a couple years. When he sold it, the guy that he sold it to didn't have it very long and wrecked it. He bought it back off of him. It was a hard wreck. I'm still finding things on that firewall that are bent from that wreck. I mention that because if you go on my channel and you find the playlists, there's a couple hundred videos on this car. Everything from the very beginning to now. They're not necessarily the best videos to watch. None of mine are. But they do show taking a wrecked 67 Chevelle to something that you can drive anywhere, anytime. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Here we go. Starting out with unboxing some things I bought off of eBay. This package came from Mike's Chevy parts in California. Bought this on eBay. Got here in pretty good shape for going that far. This should be the bits I needed to put my horn button in. I don't have the right horn button, but I do have a horn button that's got the right size rubber for it, and it is an SS horn button. It's just like a Camaro or a Nova one. This came from Midwest Muscle Cars on eBay. I know unboxings are usually on camera, but I'm trying not to show any addresses. This is the bolts for the steering column plate. This came from Summit on eBay. Bought it through eBay, but it came from Summit. Door lock knobs. And this came through a guy in New York on eBay. This entire project, I mean, I've got stuff on it that came from eBay, but the majority of it either came from somebody that I knew or we had it. But sometimes you don't have something at all. Now these are in rough condition, but they're as advertised. They are rear armrests. They happen to be blue. It kind of kills two birds with one stone. The reason I say that, I have two usable ashtrays that I can soak in vinegar, 3 armrests. Now I can go get more of these because I didn't have any screws for this car, so I was going to have to guess on the size. Yeah, happy. These are supposed to be blue, by the way. I ordered black ones, so I got what I ordered, but Car's supposed to have blue. They were $4, so yay. I showed unboxing this stuff. I want to show putting it all on, or mostly after it's on. I can't really put these on yet because I haven't made the door panels, but I can put these on. Excuse me if it's a little bit awkward making this video. It's cold. Give me a second. That kit comes with a spring plate that I didn't use because this is a deluxe wheel. It's already got its own spring plate that those two wires hook up to. Seems to be fine. Works. Now this horn button is not the correct horn button because it's not got a lip that goes around it. Alright. I had to kind of do some regroupage and get it on there, but it does work. And at first glance, it'll pass until I can manage to get the right horn button. That's what happens sometimes when you buy things on eBay. You don't get what you think you bought. But I didn't get that this time. I got that a long time ago and just never put it on. So it looks better. And I say a few people won't know that's not right. That's for the smaller steering wheel. The right one goes out around this. So I put the screws in. You can see them kind of poking through. All that aftermarket stuff actually lined up pretty good. I'm impressed. Usually, you know, aftermarket bits like that don't always line back up, but all the holes lined up and it bolted up. When you're dealing with an old car that was put together on an assembly line, sometimes you figure out that even when they were new, things weren't exactly right. That bottom screw right there, for instance, if you look at all the rest of them, they're all straight, but that one would not start straight. It was already, it was cross-threaded from the factory, so I just kind of had to put it back in that way. That's bolted up. I'm happy. The plate tightened up around the column, and now I shouldn't have a great big hole in the firewall in front of my feet. I have this, but it's old, cold. It was cracked when I found it. It was actually laying in this car. That's a 4-speed carpet plate. But I thought I had the trees for that, and I don't. So I'll end up putting a big zip tie through that to hold it there until I do have the little mounts, because I'm also wanting to put a little more of that jute padding on the firewall to try to keep a little more heat out of here. This car, it's not as bad as it used to be. It used to be so bad in here you couldn't drive it. I mean, I drove it and I dealt with it, but it was so bad that it burnt you up. That's why I added extra insulation. You can kind of see some of that silver stuff behind the heater box, and added more of this. Behind the heater box, there's an entire piece of that padding, but from there to here, there's not. So I'm going to try to cut one to fit up in there and under here, so kind of try to keep more heat out. But that's a future video. This video is showing mostly the stuff that I got off of eBay getting put on, and maybe a few not eBay related things. So a year ago, I made these front door panels. When I put this door panel on this car, I used this piece of trim. because at the time I thought that was the only one I had left. That's the one off the passenger door of Dad's red 67 that he wrecked in 72. It was already kinked a little bit from that wreck. Well, I couldn't get it off. I was dealing with bees and I just pulled it off. Well, that kinked it pretty bad, but I had to use it because I didn't think I had one. Turns out I did have one. I wanted to show you where I found that. And I've showed you this door before, but it's been hanging on a wall for about 4 years. This is the original driver's door to my 67. Now I wanted to show you this. I'm actually thinking about clearing that door to try to preserve what's left a little bit longer. But if you see here, this is the original paint. This is a respray. But right here, there is a tape line. It's top and bottom. The black's long gone. I think that was only ever spray can when Dad did that. But I'm mentioning that because, well, I've showed it before, but I was asked the other day on here why I did that black fade on this car. I guess they didn't watch those videos. But I did the black fade on this car because this car also had it, and Dad's 67 back in the 70s, his blue car had it. So it's cold. I want to warm up for a few minutes. I want to take this door back apart and put that on it. Kind of hoping in warmer weather that I might be able to get this to lay down. If not, that's fine. This looks better. A lot better. It's about 15 degrees right now and the wind's blowing. Everything's louder. You can hear further off and everything's louder. I can actually hear a little bit of a bark to the exhaust that's never here in warmer weather. I'm sure the phone didn't pick that up, but there's a difference. Letting the car run because I'm trying to let it run out of gas. I'm trying to let it run out of gas because there's still a little bit of ethanol in the gas. I don't like letting this car set all winter with ethanol in the gas. So I'm going to let it run out. There should be very little at that point in it. And I'm going to put 5 gallons of fresh 90 octane wreck gas in it. For, I don't know, 10 minutes or so. I've had the car running for about half an hour, but for the last 10 minutes it's been cutting and sputtering and going on because it's trying to run out of gas, and I'm trying to get it to run out of gas. Last year in the summertime when I ran out of gas in this car in town, if it had done this, I would have had time to get to the gas station. Instead, it just shut off like you turned the key off. It ran out of fuel. I put gas back in it, cranked it back. It's fine now. I can tell a big difference in the way that wreck fuel smells versus 87 pump gas. So I kind of got to add this to that. When I ran out of gas in this car last year, you could see a gas station from, here to maybe a football field. I couldn't push the car because it was uphill, and it was fresh paint. I had literally just painted this car when it did that. So I didn't really want to push on the tail lights or on the bumper. Probably in the next video, I'm going to make templates and stuff for those rear door panels. And I might go ahead and cut them and cover them. It all depends. I can't do that outside in this weather. And really, it's so cold that I'm not sure my glue would even glue. So I may have to make the template and cut them and not cover them until it warms up a little bit. It all depends on how that glue acts. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and tell me what you think. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.